Hello, everyone. First of all, I wish all the best for all of you who are appearing for the 2025 UPSC Civil Services examination. The prelims is nearby. It is just 20 days left now. So, I would like to give you some very important inputs which will help you improve your score. Or maybe if you are in the borderline, it will help you get on par with the cut off and clear the prelims examination. So I'll tell you a bit about my experience so that it will be helpful for you. I have appeared in five prelims and I have cleared four prelims. Prelims has never been a very difficult task for me. And to be honest, I have not joined any test series or anything throughout my prelims. I did everything based on the PYQ analysis only. So today I'm going to tell you what are all the things I did, and specifically based on the present time period, I'm going to tell you what are all the things you need to do in the last 20 days. I hope you have completed your syllabus, or at least you should have completed all the basic subjects. This is first thing. You should have gone through all the current affairs of the last 1 year. If not, going through the entire current affairs through newspapers, at least you should have referred to any current affairs compilation of any good institute. That is one thing that is expected. Now you have 20 days left. What are all the things you need to do? First, you need to go through the static subjects. The most important subjects are polity, geography, economy, modern history, and environment. From these five subjects, most of the questions are expected. You have very limited time. Just do a detailed, complete reading or revision of all these subjects because most of the questions are expected from these subjects only. Second thing, do not spend too much time on current affairs. I have seen this happening to most of the students who are very brilliant, intelligent, yet they spend too much time on reading current affairs material, monthly magazines, yearly compilation, this, that. And when it comes to current affairs, it is not enough ever. It's never going to be enough. You will have to keep reading it all the time. So it is like a ocean which uh, I mean, you are not expected to dive into the ocean and get into the depth or cross the entire ocean. That's not required. You just need to have a basic idea about the current affairs that is going on. And trust me, they are not going to ask very high number of current affairs questions. In my experience, questions are mostly conceptual. Second, it can be a mixture of conceptual and current affairs questions. Third, purely current affairs. Purely current affairs questions are very limited. Maybe you can expect around 20 to 25 questions, even if the weightage is very high for current affairs. Rest, if your concepts are very clear, I don't think you have to worry about anything. So, as I told, two things I have mentioned now. One, five important conceptual subjects: polity, geography, economy, modern history, and environment. You have to revise it very well. One good revision. Second, current affairs, whatever compilation you have had. There are people who would have made notes of current affairs. There are people who would have just read monthly magazines of last 12 months. There are people who would have read the yearly compilations. Whatever you have done until now, just do a one fast reading. Do not get in depth and research and everything. Do not do those things at present. It's not the time for that. All you have to do is do a fast revision. Third, do not attempt too many tests at this point of time. Tests should be limited. Maybe three to four you can attend. And in the last 1 week, I would not suggest you to attend any mock test. Why? Because mock tests are made by institutes and they have their own method and their own way of making questions. It might or might not reflect the way and the pattern of UPSC. So do not get adapted to that pattern. Now you have to shift to UPSC pattern. So for that, what you have to do? Fourth step, go through PYQs. Go through PYQs of last 10 years at least. Subject wise, start with polity, then go to geography, economy, etc. Subject wise questions of last 10 years. What you have to do? You should read the question, try to answer it. If you're not able to answer it, it's fine. Go through the options one by one. Read a good analysis of the topic. So if there is a question on Jainism and Buddhism from history, what you have to do is you have to read the topic too. Just by reading the question and answering, it's not going to be sufficient. You have to read the topic too. So you can fix a time period daily, maybe 1 hour or 2 hour you can fix for PYQs. Go through it. Trust me, it will help you. Trust me, it is going to make your mind adapt to the way questions are asked in prelims. Finally, in the last 1 week, try to go through the important factual things. For example, places in news, maps, important national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, rivers, all these factual things. Go through all of these in the last 3 to 4 days, so that these things will be there in your memory. It will be fresh, and probably if you get a question, you will be able to answer. These are the things which you need to do. First thing, again, I'm repeating, go through core subjects. Second, current affairs, fast reading. Third, do not take too many tests, maybe two to three, that's it. Fourth, PYQs. Go through PYQs very well. Fifth, in the last 1 week or the last 3 to 4 days, go through the most important factual questions. I mean, factual topics. Now, when it comes to the examination day, there are certain steps you need to follow so that it will be easy for you to get some extra marks. First thing, take good rest. Give enough rest to your mind and body. Sleep very well. Trust me, if you do not sleep well, your memory is going to get affected, and that will reduce your mark. So, sleep very well properly. One thing. Second, on the day of examination, when you look at the paper, and if you do not know the options of the questions initially, do not worry. Do not worry, do not panic, do not get stressed at any point of time during the examination. From my personal experience, I'll tell you one thing. During my first attempt, when I saw the question paper, first page, I didn't know any of the questions. Turned second page, I didn't know any of the questions. So first 2 pages, I didn't know anything. Third page, one or two questions I knew. By that time, the stress starts building up. Used to feel like, oh my God, I have prepared for around 1.5 year, and then I'm sitting in prelims and I'm not able to get any questions in the first 3 pages properly. But towards the end, once I reached the 80th question, so it was very normal and very average until 80th question. From 80th to 100th question, I knew everything. 20 questions at a stretch, I knew everything. 40 marks, right? Easily 40 marks. Then all you have to do is manage the questions here and there, read again and again, and find out a solution. I got very high marks in prelims at that time. So the thing is, if I had got stressed or tensed, then towards the end, again, I would have fumbled. Even the questions which I knew very well, I would have missed. But that did not happen because I kept my cool and I kept my calm. So that's the most important factor. So give good rest to yourself. Do not get stressed at any point of time. You never know when and where the change will happen. So just be calm. If you're even if you do not know much questions, it is fine. Third, about the technique of how to approach the paper. Everyone will have different kind of techniques. So there is no single method of attending prelims paper. I'll tell you how I do it. What I do is I read the questions. Whichever question I'm 100% sure, I immediately mark it. In the first reading, whichever questions I'm 100% sure, I mark it immediately. Even if I'm confused with two options, what I used to do is I'll note down the number, the question number in the rough page, right? So I do not mark a question where I'm confused even 1%. If I'm 100% confident, I'll mark it. So maybe by the end of the first reading, I would have read all the questions. I would have marked maybe around 30, 35 questions, right? Not more than that. 30, 35 itself is very high in the first reading. And this first reading should end by within the first 1 hour. Then I go for second reading. During second reading, what I will do is whichever questions I have doubts with two options, where I can eliminate two options, I'm confused with two options. Maybe around 20, 25 questions will be there, which are in this category. So I'll go and approach those questions. And I will mark all those questions because here there is 50% chance of getting it right, 50% chance of getting it wrong. And obviously you will gain. It will help you when you are going for such questions. So I'll not leave any of those questions. Wherever I'm confused with two options, I'm going to mark each and every one of it. Now, 1.5 hours will be over by the time I finish my second reading. Now I go for third reading. This is a very crucial part. Here, what you have to do is first you need to know how much risk you can take. If I have already marked around 80 questions, after the end of second round, I'll not take much risk. Maybe I can mark one or two extra questions here and there. That's it. But I don't have to mark a lot of questions because 80 to 85 questions is the best number of attempt for prelims. In case if I do not have that option, and if I have marked only few questions, maybe 50, 60 questions, then I'll have to push a little bit and ensure I reach around 80 to 85 questions. So in the third round, in the last 1 hour, I'll try to read the question again and again and again. I'll try to come up with some reason and mark the answer. Here, the most important part is if you do not know the answer of a question at all, if that topic is completely new for you, in such case, just leave it. Just ignore such questions because there is very less chance you will get it correct. So the questions where you do not have any idea, just leave those questions. Questions where you are confused with three options. In such cases, as I mentioned, calculated risk. We cannot risk everything and go on for it. You need to take calculated risk, but when you are marking your an option, you need a reason to go for it. If I'm marking an option, I need some reason for why I am going for it. What is the reason? I need to justify it to myself. Only then I'll go for it. Right. And do not go for random marking. Do not do this thing where people in the last 5 minutes, I have seen people rushing and marking a lot of things. Don't do it. The important factor to clear prelims is being calm throughout the 2 hours. So these are all the things which need to be concentrated when it comes to GS paper. For CSAT, everyone will have their own advantages and disadvantages. My advantage always has been reading comprehension and reasoning. I have never practiced aptitude. I never went through any videos or anything. I had an advantage. I'm an engineer. I was well trained and all these things. So I never took any uh, videos or books and practiced for aptitude. So what I used to do is first I'll go with all the comprehension questions. I'll finish the entire comprehension question. Then I'll go for reasoning. I'll finish most of the reasoning. Wherever I have doubts, I'll leave it. Then I go for aptitude. Even though I'm good at aptitude, I go for it towards the end because aptitudes tend to be a little lengthy and time consuming. So I try to do it in the end, not in the beginning. So this is a method which I do. Again, CSAT is a qualifying paper, but you cannot ignore it. What I would suggest is go through the PYQs, solve 1 or 2 years paper completely. If you are able to score 80 plus, then you are in a good position. You don't have to spend much time for CSAT. If that's not the case, you need to practice. So select certain topics which are regularly asked in the examination, right? For example, probability, always asked, number system, regularly, average, percentage, speed, distance, and time, work and men. These are syllogism. These are topics which are regularly asked in the examination. You just need to practice these topics and you will surely get around 20 questions in aptitude from these topics itself. So do not take CSAT lightly. There are people who score 100 plus in GS and fail in CSAT, and due to this, they won't be able to attend mains. Right. One more point I need to tell. If anyone is practicing answer writing or optional subject or mains based topics, this is the time to completely stop it. Focus completely on prelims. Other than that, fits a proper schedule, fits a proper sleep cycle, and follow it properly. Do not get stressed, do not get tensed at any point. So these are all the things which you need to take care so that you can have that extra edge in prelims. Other than this, tips and tricks, there are certain elimination methods you need to follow. You can find a lot of elimination methods, etc., online, but these days, UPSC's pattern has changed, the question pattern has changed to a greater extent. They are trying to eliminate the elimination method itself completely. Maybe for a few questions it might work, but it could backfire too. So you have to be very careful. So I would always advise go with your concepts, go with your strengths. If my strength is polity, then I'll try to make the strength even better. So that if I'm getting 15 questions from polity, I'll make sure I answer 13 questions in polity correctly. So that is the key. Do not obsess over lengthy subjects like medieval history or art and culture, etc., where the syllabus is very vast and the number of questions are less. You can revise subjects like polity, economy, and geography multiple times because you get a lot of questions, right? So this is the basics. Again, in to summarize everything, let me give you all the points which I have told in a very quick way, and let's end this. For GS paper, do not get stressed throughout the exam. Approach it in a very good way. Three methods you need to follow during your examination. This is based on my experience. First reading, mark all the questions where you are 100% confident. Second reading, go for all the questions where you are confused with two options. Third reading, based on the number of questions you have already attempted, try to take calculated risk and go for the questions where you are confused with three options. But here, when you are marking an option, you need a good reason for marking that option. This is the method. For CSAT, as I have told, you have to work on your strength. My strength is comprehension, so I'll go with comprehension first. If your strength is aptitude, go with aptitude first. If your strength is reasoning, go with reasoning first. But when it comes to aptitude and comprehension, if there is a question where you are confused, if it is taking a lot of time, do not get obsessed with it. Just stop it and move on to the next question. More than 2 minutes for a question is too much, right? So try to ensure you spend the least time. Go for all the questions. Solve the easiest question in the beginning. Keep the hardest question for the end. This is for CSAT. In the next 20 days, what you have to do? You have to revise the most important subjects, that is polity, geography, economy, modern history, and environment in a very detailed way. First. Second, do not spend too much time on current affairs. Whatever compilations you have read, just do a fast reading of that in the next 20 days. Third, do not attend too much tests. Fourth, go through PYQs of the last 10 years in a very, very detailed way. Find out the important topics and revise those topics also. Finally, in the last 1 week or the last 3, 4 days, Go through all the static things, most factual things. That is places in news, map, important technologies, important data which you need to know, schemes, government schemes, acts, policies, etc. These are all the things you need to do in the next 20 days. And if you do all the things which I have mentioned, it is very, very easy to clear prelims. You do not have to worry about anything. And I wish each and every one of you all the best. And I hope you get the most out of this video which I am sharing today. And I hope you clear the prelims also. All the best.